Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the EKU BCM, to our first and only EKU presidential debate. Tonight, you'll hear from two different sides of the podium for this debate, and you'll be able to vote afterward. But first off, our debate is sponsored by the generic headache medicine, because you'll need it later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our two candidates. We have Ms. Michaela Bell and Mr. David Cannon II. Candidates? Well, Ms. Bell, Mr. Cannon, let's begin.
That is, Mr. Cannon II to you?
I'm very sorry, sir. Mr. Cannon II.
Thank you.
Well, for this debate, we have 5 questions, and you have 30 seconds to answer each question. I want no interruption, no name calling. I want a good, clean debate tonight, people.
Look, I won't say anything as long as this nasty woman doesn't say anything that I don't agree with.
Listen here, you gospel-punching Sasquatch.
Candidates, what did I just say? All right, it's going to be a very long night. All right, let's get right to our very first question. Our first question was submitted by the lovely Mr. Jeff Prosser. And the question is, for the next year of your term, how will you fight to lower or keep student tuition the same? We'll begin with Ms. Bell.
That's an excellent question, Mr. Pat. First, I'd like to thank the EKU BCM for hosting this debate. It is so important for us to talk about what we want to do in the next year, or maybe do. Okay, now back to the question. You know, when we talk about tuition costs, it really raises the central idea of many students' concerns. As an EKU student myself, I understand the enormous cost of tuition and the burden it leaves on us students. So, I will fight to stop raising the tuition to all students. We need to raise the university minimum wage to make college more affordable too. The question that needs to be answered, however, is what type of university do we want to be? Do we want one where students can walk away debt-free with a 4-year degree? Or do we want one who is in debt for the rest of their life? Everyone deserves a college degree, whether they work hard or not. We should help them out.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. And Mr. Cannon. Thank you, audience. Mr. Cannon II, same question for you.
Well, first off, thank you, everybody, for having me here. I know that you all feel honored to have me here. You're welcome. Now, the rising cost of tuition is just outrageous. It's unbelievable how much students have to pay to be able to get a 4-year degree, especially those who are going to school for some ridiculous degree that pays nothing, like history. If you vote for me as your next president, you won't have to pay a thing at all.
Mr. Cannon, I have to say, as a history major, that was very offensive.
It's Mr. Cannon II, and you should have made it into something else, because after all, you all know that a degree in history is like an application to McDonald's.
For once, I actually agree with my opponent.
Whatever. But sir, your plan sounds great and all, but how exactly are you going to make this happen? You're going to lose money without have students paying tuition.
How much just do it? Gosh, this guy's dull.
Well, thank you, sir, for clearing that up for us. Our next question was submitted by the Miss Kirsten Soder. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not. But what is your plans for rebuilding the beautiful pedway we have? Mr. Cannon, II will begin with you.
Wow, is this not a huge issue we face? I mean, seriously, the destruction of our once proud headway. Well, first off, who leaves a truck bed up while driving? I mean, for real. Look, I promise you all, when I become president, I will make it my sole duty to make EKU great again. I say we rebuild the pedway 10 feet taller. First, so we are the best school, and make sure that all the other schools feel lesser like they are. And second, so no idiot can knock it down again. And also, we should include a moving walkway on it, just like in the airport, so students can glide. Because lazy college students don't like to do anything. And the best part is, we make the truck company pay for it all.
That is very interesting. Miss Bell, same question.
Well, my opponent has an interesting point of view. I understand that the pedway was an accident, and just that, an accident. It would be absurd to make the truck company pay for a simple accident.
Simple accident? Just like a woman to not see the whole amounts of the situation. What my opponent has failed to address, moderator, is how she plans to pay for it.
Well, if my opponent would stop interrupting me like the man he is and let me speak, I would explain.
All right, Mr. Cannon, the second, Miss Bell. What did I say about name calling? Please let Miss Bell finish, sir.
Fine. It's not like she proved me wrong anyway.
To find the money to rebuild the pedway and further make the campus beautiful, we would raise tuition prices.
Miss Bell, didn't you just say that you would lower tuition rates?
Yes,
and make
yes.
the school more affordable? Thank you, audience. I will be the moderator for this today. But didn't you say you would make it more affordable for students?
No, you were actually listening. Good for you. Most people just make these silly memes out of my face. But I don't think you heard me correctly, Mr. Pack.
I am extremely positive I heard you correctly. You said you would lower tuition rates.
Do you have that written down anywhere, like in any emails that we can go back and look at?
It's all right here, Miss Bell, and we are live. And I don't know about any emails, but I have heard that you have quite a bit. Well, anyway, thank you, candidates, for your statements on this issue. Now, for my own question for you tonight. There has been an increased number of students coming to this great campus, and the need for parking continues to increase. So what would be the solution to this problem? Ms. Bell, we'll begin with you.
Thank you. This is a great question. Campus has done such a fabulous job making it easier for parking for faculty. I mean, we all know that truly matters here in any institution. The people in power, not the people who they are in charge of. The parking appears fine in my opinion, and I'm not really sure I understand your question.
Ms. Bell, I believe you heard incorrectly, but the question was about students parking.
Oh yes. I forgot to vote when I was here. Anyways, we have created many spots all over campus that are very convenient for students, such as the soccer field. The issue is not the lack of parking, but the lack of students' willingness to walk further than 2 feet from their car. In addition, our shuttles are extremely reliable and tend to all of our students' needs. If elected, I will take into account the need for future parking and will begin to develop a way to make it more accommodable to students.
That's absurd. Finding parking on our great campus is extremely difficult. I had to park in the grass next to the building, right? Like, look, what my opponent has failed to suggest and even take into account is the enormous need for parking garages. All right, you know what? I can see it now. A 4-story, no, better yet, a 6-story lot next to the new science building with 6 times the parking we would normally have, and solving all of our problems. Like, how will we pay for it all? Well, we'll get sponsors to pay for it, of course. For example, the Cheese Emporium Garage. Pretty catchy, right? Look, if you vote for me as your next president, or when you vote for me, I will fight for you and your convenience to park. All right, and I'll be getting private vendors to pay for it all. And in return, we can let them put their name and their vending machines on everything. I mean, fair is fair, right? They pay for your tuition, and we get to put their stuff everywhere. Oh, also, you know what? We would no longer be the colonels. We would be the vicious mice. Right? Yeah? Yeah?
Very interesting. Both of our candidates here have said something very interesting this entire time, which raises another issue that we must solve, that you would solve as president. And so that issue is the laziness of our students. So as president, how would you deal with it, Mr. Cannon II?
Well, like I've said before, our students are lazy, but hey, that's their choice, all right? There's nothing that we can do about it. If students want to live like slobs and watch Netflix all day, power to them. I mean, I'm not going to tell them what and what not to do. Last time I checked, I'm not someone's mother, right? Look, this is why I've suggested that we build a moving walkway in the new pedway. And you know what? What's more, we should put moving walkways on the sidewalks. I mean, I know I would enjoy that. That means I don't have to walk as much, and I can focus more on catching Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
That is exactly the problem we face on this campus. The laziness of students, including my opponent. We need to start getting students out and about. We can do this by creating an app that tracks fitness, how much steps you take, and you know what? We can use this as promotion for our students to get healthy. And the more you walk, the more steps you take, the more exercise you do, you get free meal swaps and better parking.
Well, both of those are very interesting stands on this issue, and I thank you, candidates, for those. Now, our last question tonight, and you will only have 5 words to decide how you would do this. And we'll begin with Mr. Cannon, but the question is, with the increased crime lately around campus, how would you better fight that?
I'll build a huge wall.
Miss Bell?
Anything besides that plan.
All right, that's all we have for tonight, folks, and I want to thank you all for coming to our first and only presidential debate between Miss Bell and Mr. Cannon II. Now, not much choices here this evening, folks. And so when you walked into this night for this lovely debate, you received our ballot. And so on your exit tonight, when you leave the debate, please make sure to mark Miss Bell, Mr. David Cannon II, or some other person if you feel of interest. Your voice does matter. And that's all we have for tonight. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to our first and only